70s, a small chance for a shower Sunday. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
It's another great getting up morning here in the foothills. It's 55 degrees right now, warming up to about 80 with some scattered showers developing probably later in the day, about 30% chance, and then 30% chance of rain tonight. Tomorrow, pretty much a washout. 80% rain, percentage of rain showers on Saturday and Saturday night, and clearing out here again for Sunday. We got a beautiful Sunday night and Monday coming up in the foothills forecast at WCAB. Now I have these death announcements. Barry Scott Buckner, age 59, passed away April 2nd. There will be no formal receiving of friends. Burial will follow at Eternal Hills Memorial Park. Services will be private. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is serving the family of Barry Scott Buckner. Tommy Ray Hutchins, Sr., 88 of Rutherfordton, passed away Friday, April 2nd at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. Funeral services will be held 2 p.m. Saturday at Oak Springs Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. Family will receive friends from 12 until 2 prior to the service at the church. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Tommy Ray Hutchins, Sr. Thelma Watkins Smith, age 70 of Forest City, passed away Saturday at her home. Graveside services will be held 3 p.m. Sunday at Oak Grove Missionary Baptist Church Cemetery. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Thelma Watkins Smith. Mildred Ruth Henderson, 87, passed away on April 3rd at Fairhaven Home of Bostic. Graveside services will be held 3 p.m. Sunday, April the 11th at Tanner's Grove United Methodist Church. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Mildred Ruth Henderson. Dave Kager Cox Sr., aged 78, passed away Thursday, March 25th at his residence. A celebration of Dave's life will be held at 2 o'clock Sunday, April the 11th, at the Marvin Stafford residence at 125 Hinton Road, Forest City. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Dave Kager Cox Sr. Jerry Daniel Searcy, 78 of Spindale, died Thursday. The funeral will be conducted at 4 o'clock Sunday, April the 11th at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home. Burial will follow in the Spindale City Cemetery. Visitation will be from 2 until 3:45 Sunday at the funeral home prior to the services. Washburn Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service is serving the family of Jerry Daniel Searcy. Matthew Matt Jones, age 39 of Lake Worth, Florida, passed away Friday, April 2nd in Palm Springs, Florida. The funeral will be conducted at 2 o'clock Monday, April 12th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with the arrangements for Matthew Matt Jones. John F. Luckadoo, age 86 of Green Creek, passed away Tuesday, April 6th at Spartanburg Regional Medical Center in Spartanburg. The funeral service will be at 1 o'clock Saturday, April 10th at McMahon's Funeral Home Chapel. Visitation will be from 12 until 12:45 prior to the service, and burial will be at New Hope United Methodist Church Cemetery. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for John F. Luckadoo. Jessica Ann Gold, 36 of Spartanburg, died Sunday, March 7th at Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. A memorial service will be conducted at 12 o'clock Saturday, April 10th at Mount Lebanon Baptist Church. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home serving the family of Jessica Ann Gold. Roy Green, age 73 of Ellenboro, passed away Monday, April 5th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. A private family celebration of Roy's life is planned for a later date, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Roy Green.
Americans. But guess what? Asian students account for only 19% of Harvard's new admissions. So the Asian American students who run rings around everybody else academically finally had enough. With this lawsuit, they're demanding to be treated fairly based on merit. That doesn't happen on the left. Merit's the last thing they take into account. The left has a lot riding on this case. Harvard is at the top of the heap when it comes to using affirmative action to enforce this so-called diversity. This entire liberal house of cards could come tumbling down with this one case, which is expected to end up at the Supreme Court, where guess who sits? Brett Kavanaugh, who used to do what? Teach at Harvard. Until when? They fired him because of Ballsy Ford's lies. No wonder they're worried about it.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Good morning. Good morning.
I can't believe we have to make this commercial.
It's ridiculous.
You'll think it's ridiculous too. Listen to this.
This commercial is about, well, it's about parents being rude at high school athletic events.
Ridiculous, right?
It gets worse. Studies show more than 75% of new high school officials are quitting because of bad adult behavior.
So now there's a shortage of refs here in North Carolina, in almost all sports.
No officials means no more games.
Is that what you want for us?
Come on, parents.
It's time to grow up.
Cheer for your team.
Be proud of your children.
But stop being so ridiculous.
And don't make us run another commercial.
Because we will.
This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association, reminding you to always practice good sportsmanship.
Covering the foothills with Atlanta Braves baseball, this is WCAB Rutherfordton.
Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply is a variety store. Here's why I say that. Cedar shavings, 5.0 cubic feet, $7.99 per bag. They have Pontiac red potatoes, Kennebec potatoes, $18 for 50 pound. River Run dog food, specially priced. Plenty of horse quality hay. Refill propane, $10.99 for a 20-pound tank. Wrangler Sweet Feed, $8.69 for the 50-pound bag. Cardinal Tissue and paper towels, 6-pack, $4.49. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply is the largest farm supply store, and you should come and see how much you can save. 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton.
Cheryl, have you been to the Homeworks Design Center inside Henson Building Materials in Forest City?
Oh, yes. Shana, David, and William are incredible at designing kitchen and bath cabinetry for my new she shed.
Your what?
And they have a full line of windows and doors on display in their 5,000 square foot showroom. And they'll install any ones you pick out for me.
Oh, you're too good to me.
I know. With selling and installing, it's basically one-stop shopping.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
The Lincoln County War was going full tilt. William Brady was the sheriff of Lincoln County. Brady was known to be in the pocket of the Murphy-Dolan faction, the bad guys as far as Billy the Kid was concerned. Billy the Kid had formed his Regulators, a semi-legal group to fight what he considered to be the corruption in the county. And for the most part, the locals looked favorably upon them. On the morning of April Fool's Day, 1878, Sheriff William Brady was walking down Lincoln's Main Street with 4 of his deputies. Then from behind an adobe wall, guns started barking. It's obvious that Sheriff Brady was the main target because in a matter of seconds, he had more than a dozen bullet holes in him. Brady and Billy the Kid had history. Billy blamed Brady for the death of his friend John Tunstall, and earlier that year, Billy had tried to arrest Brady. But Brady was able to turn the tables on the Kid, and the Kid ended up in jail. When the shooting died down, Billy the Kid walked up to the body of Sheriff Brady. Some say he was looking for arrest warrants for Billy and the regulators. Others say Billy was looking for the Winchester rifle Brady had taken from him back in February. Then a shot rang out from hiding. It nicked Billy's hip. Billy wisely ran for cover and the regulators left town. Although Billy was able to get his vengeance, the outcome of the event wasn't good for him. Because of the way it happened, Billy started losing the sympathy of the locals, and they began questioning the legality of his regulators. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Now, as we get started with our call-around report here on WCAB for this Friday morning, Deputy Greenway is with us on the phone from the Sheriff's Department to get started. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Doing good, sir. How about yourself?
Doing really well, thank you. What's on the report?
So in the last 24 hours, Sheriff's Office has responded to 139 calls for service, made 7 arrests. There's currently 135 in the jail. I'll begin with our incident reports. Mary Klein reported an incident of damage to personal property. James Jenkins reported an incident of felony breaking and entering, larceny after breaking and entering. Tony Allen reported an incident of misdemeanor larceny. Marcia Days reported a breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. And Lacey Bailey reported a financial card fraud. Moving on to our arrest reports, Stacy Shade was served with a warrant for assault on a female. Craig Swink was arrested for driving while license revoked and fictitious registration plate. Brian Robertson was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor, and Joseph Wayne Mabry was arrested for extradition out of another state. That completes the morning report, sir.
Deputy Greenway, thank you so very much, and you be safe out there this weekend.
You too, thank you.
And we'll find out what calls 911 communication handled over the past 24 hours right after this.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers of Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. They continue to strive hard to keep that honor. Come on in and see for yourself. Take a look at the all-new design 2021 F-150 or reserve an all-new 2021 Bronco coming in the spring. Don't miss out on the automobile you've been wanting at the Sisk Family Ford price. Take your pick while the picking is good on Oak Street in Forest City.
Amanda's on the air to give us a report from the Communication Center this Friday morning. Amanda, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's on your report, Amanda?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center has processed 394 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 19 for the Emergency Medical Services, 13 for Rescue, 139 calls for the Sheriff's Office, 70 for Forest City, 5 for Lake Lure, 39 for Rutherford, and 55 for Spindale. And Spindale Fire Department had a motor vehicle fire, and that's all.
Thanks so much. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye. Bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
And we're going over to Danieltown now. The SDO Fire District reporter is Ruby Taylor. She's on the phone right now to give us an update. Ruby, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good. What's on your report?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Tricia Hines and Thomas Wynn having birthdays today, and hope they have a nice day. Tomorrow, Mike Grant, Joshua Hollyfield, Jesse Huntley, Jesse Tony, Wanda Wynn is having birthdays, and Mr. and Mrs. Mike Grant's having anniversary. And Sunday, Mary Toms and Isaac Queen's having birthday, and hope they have a nice day. Signs are in the feet today, going to the head tomorrow and Sunday. And Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks, Ruby. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Todd was telling me there's been an accident out here in the Whiteside Road, at intersection of Whiteside Road and Railroad Avenue. Two cars apparently collided, hit over into the trail. but and ambulances, police officers were all there. Don't know how serious it was for anyone. No traffic seemed to be hindered from it, other than maybe making room for the folks who come out to do the job. So stay out of their way. Don't get in the way of the ambulances and the fire trucks and the police officers. Let them do their job. But it has happened moments ago, not within the 30 minutes ago. So hopefully no one was injured very seriously in that accident. Here's Gary Wilson now reporting to us from the Fairfield Mountains Fire District in Bills Creek community on this beautiful Friday morning. Gary, how are you?
Doing good, Jim. How you doing?
Doing really well. It's looking like a pretty good weekend, even though we're getting some rain. We need it badly, don't we?
Yeah, we could use some. You know, it's getting a little bit dry out there right now. It dries out quick this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been pretty quiet up here. We had a medical call yesterday. The only thing we ran, not aware of anything Bills Creek had. Temperature-wise, we're about 53 degrees this morning. No rain overnight. Had just a sprinkle come through yesterday afternoon. It didn't last about 5 minutes. That was the extent of that. Maybe some thunderstorms coming through, but I think they kind of backed off on the severe stuff. Hopefully we won't have any of that. But everything else is quiet up here this morning. Good to go. Partly cloudy. And looks like might get a little sunshine this morning.
Should be a good day for about everybody then. We get some sun
Yeah,
and
you
some
should be able
clouds.
to get out and do whatever you want to do today.
That's right.
And that's about all we got, Jim.
Gary, I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, you have a good one.
Bye-bye. High school football action still going on tonight. Burns at RS Central. That's our game of the week. Chase is at South Point. McDowell is at Morganton Freedom. Crest playing at Kings Mountain. And Lenore Hybrat at Morganton Patton. That's the games of local interest and regional interest. And Mr. Friday Night will be on the radio with me a little after 8 o'clock this morning to talk about all that action. So be sure to hang around and find out what's expected in tonight's games. High school football Friday night.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Hudlow Fire District is where we're stopping next, and that's where we'll find Bob Hodge. How you doing this morning, Bob?
We're done just fine on this here Friday morning.
Another week's come and gone.
Yeah, it comes pretty fast here, seems like, here lately. But that sun's coming up through the treetop. That's going to be a pretty nice day again up here today. But need a little rain, I guess, to wash some of this pollen off. It's been bad the last few days. A lot of people there, got sneezing and coughing and eyes are watering.
Oh, yeah. I know what that's all about.
I know it. And Jim, with the fire department, it's been quiet overnight. Hadn't had any fire calls or anything, so things are going along good up here. I just saw a news bulletin there where Prince Philip died overnight. So
Yes, he did. 99 years old.
yeah, like 2 months being 100. So
What about that?
yeah. Well, Jim, everything else going along good up here, and nothing to report so far this morning. And I hope you have a good weekend, and we'll be talking to you on Monday, I guess.
Bob, you have a great weekend, too. Enjoy it, and I will talk to you again real soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Bob Hodge from the Hudlow Fire District. It's 7:25 now.
Good morning. These are your headlines. Market declines, unemployment, oil prices. These can be pretty scary. Hi, I'm your Edward Jones financial advisor, Andrew Tisdale. And I'll work with you to help you understand the impact of these just short-term events and how it's not going to affect your long-term goals. We can provide the tools and the reasoned, disciplined approach on how to invest. So please, don't let these headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. Call us today, 828-287-9197. Our office is located in the Food Line Plaza in Rutherford. This was Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, and a member of the SIPC. Bye.
We want to check on the Cherry Mountain Fire District now, see what's been going on over there in that community. And Sue Price is on the phone to give us that news. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
Welcome to Friday again.
Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful day starting out. The sun's coming up and looking good, and I guess we're going to get a little rain sometime. That'll be good, too. We've had a few days of pretty weather.
Mm-hmm. We sure have.
Pretty beautiful week. Mostly, some of it looked like the summertime, didn't it?
Boy, it did. Picked up really warm, and had not been for the breeze, it probably would have been a scorcher.
I know. Well, let's see. I don't have any calls from the fire department. I don't have a single birthday or anniversary on either one of my calendars. In my announcements, the blood drive coming up April 12th at Golden Valley Community Club from 3 to 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, April 17th, the barbecue, smoked chicken, and pulled pork, Ruatan Hopewell Hollis Clubhouse, 2500 Hollis Road in Ellenboro, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Adults are $10, children 6 to 12, $5. And they always have a really good supper. We always enjoy it. And so far, that's the only announcements I have. It's just quiet and calm over here, and we're looking for a good day and good weekend, and I hope you and Faye will have one.
Thanks, Sue. You and your family have a good one, too, and stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, is speaking about the death of Prince Philip. Is it just me, or does Boris Johnson always look like he needs to comb his hair? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but he always looks like he needs to get a brush to his hair. But he was speaking about Prince Philip, who passed away at 99, and that will be the headline of the news throughout today and throughout the weekend. Rich life there for the prince, and his family, of course, will certainly need to be remembered in our thoughts and prayers. When you hear someone say, I have finally found a heating and air conditioning company I can depend on, and you say, who? And they say, Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning. So then you find out more, and you learn Immaculate will do a spring checkup special on your air conditioner for only $49.99. Hot weather coming soon, and you want to be ready for it with a hassle-free air conditioner. Get it inspected during this spring checkup for the special price of $49.99. You can book online at www.immaculateheatingandair. That's immaculateheatingandair.com. Just click the green book online button at the top of the page or call 755-8150. By the way, this $49.99 spring special is for a limited time. At McCurry Deck Motors, you can browse a selection of vehicles that includes all of the top models in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC lineups. The McCurry Deck Motors lineup of vehicles checks all the boxes, ensuring that they will have the perfect vehicle for any car shopper that visits their lot. Come visit and see what's in store for you and your family with the McCurry Deck quality reputation of fair deals and customer service. Try the Chevy. Find new roads with Chevy. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of Chevy, Buick, and GMC. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. Well, if you want to travel through the store at Joyce Bridal and look around, you'll be impressed, as so many others have become. A storehouse full of beautiful clothing for weddings, for special occasions, for events that you want to dress up and look good. They got wedding gowns, and they got bridesmaids dresses, they got grooms' tux and groomsmen clothes, and it's just a great, great store right here at home. You don't have to go to Charlotte, Greenville, all those areas. Check with Joyce Bridal first. And you'll find how easy it is and how convenient it is and how nice they are to you and how better priced they are. That's Joyce Bridal there in the Tri-City. But walk around, look around, and see the great display of jewelry they've got. And they have a seamstress and alteration place there to hem up what you need up done. And it's just we're really fortunate to have Joyce Bridal right here at home. Joy's been doing this business a long, long time, so she knows how to take care of you, and her staff will do the same thing. So visit there first. Before you make a decision and spending your money somewhere else and sending it away, keep the money right here at home and get service as well. That's Joyce Bridal right there in the Tri-City Mall. Couldn't reach Tina this morning up in the Shingle Hollow community this morning. She may be sitting out on a porch waiting for the sun to rise and fell asleep. I don't know where she is, but we're going on over to Union Mills, and Brenda Kelly is there. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning. How are you on this fabulous Friday morning?
I'm just tickled to death this Friday, friend.
I know you are. Got big plans for the weekend?
Well, yeah, we're singing tomorrow down in Gaffney at a senior event at a church, and so that's unusual to do a Saturday afternoon, but we're doing that for them, and so we're excited about being able to do a little singing tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that'll be good, and I know they'll enjoy it.
Well, thank you. We I don't even know the name of the churches right now, but somewhere there in Gaffney.
Yeah. Is that your old stomping grounds, Gaffney?
Gaffney is my old stomping grounds. That's right. That's right. Some of my old girlfriends might be senior citizens now, so they might be there, reckon.
You better watch out. They may be listening.
I always went for the older women. You know what I'm saying?
Had more experience.
That's right. That's right.
You ain't got no sense.
But I have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, I know you do. Well, let's see. I've got 52 degrees on the front porch. I don't have but one birthday, and that's my little great niece, Kaylee Greer. So we hope that Kaylee Greer has a great old big birthday today. And in ways of announcements, for rent, Union Mills Community House at 6097 Hudlow Road. Need a family-friendly setting for birthday party, graduation party, reunion, wedding, reception. This is the place. $75 a day, $25 to set up the day before. For information, you can call Kay Briscoe at 223-6130 or Christine Almans at 748-2669. And then tonight at the Union Mills Learning Center, we got Wiregrass, the band Wiregrass. They'll be playing at 7 o'clock. The meal begins at 6 p.m., and that'll be $5. And then we got breakfast at Old Gilkey School, April the 10th, 7 to 10 a.m. Adults, $7. Children, 6 to 12, $3. Kids 5 and under free, and social distancing and mask required. So far, that's all I got going on. So we're getting busy up here, ain't we?
Well, I tell you, I'm glad to hear that. Glad things
and
opening.
So you've had a wreck out there at Whiteside and what?
Railroad Avenue, that interchange there, intersection there. I don't know how it happened. Who was at fault? Todd came in and saw it.
Yeah.
So I hope nobody was injured.
Somebody was injured.
I hope not. I don't know.
I hope not either. Yeah. And I'm sorry to hear about the Prince Philip dying, but he was just almost 100 years old, wasn't he?
About 2 months. Yeah, 2 months away from being 100. You know, I can't
I
imagine.
Go
ahead.
I had a friend to die last month, and she died just about 5 or 6 days before her 101st birthday.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm banking on living to be 100. I don't know if I'll make it or not.
Well, I am too, and I'm going to be talking to you on radio when I do.
Yeah, we'll call you on my 100th birthday.
Okay.
I can't imagine.
See, I can remember when your birthday is because I've got a grandson that's got the same birthday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I had a grandson that was born on Van Austin's birthday, too, November the 6th.
Oh, yeah. We miss old Van.
I can remember these things.
Yeah, we miss old Van. He was a good one.
He really was. We had some good times together up on Main Street in Ralston at different occasions.
Yeah. He loved to go to those. We have a picture of you and him dancing out on the street.
That was a long time ago. I can't dance now. My old knees don't work. It's good you got it when you did.
I know it. I was going to say, I just can't imagine living a life like a Prince Philip in a castle like that. I don't know what to do all day. What do they do all day? I guess they're.
I don't know.
I mean, they can't get out here. They can't get out here on the streets of downtown Forest City and walk the trail like so. I don't know what they do. I guess they have responsibilities, but
I'm sure they do, and all kind of meetings, dignitary and stuff like that. And I don't know. And then they have to stop and have tea. And
yeah. How old is the Queen? She's pretty close to that same age, isn't she?
She's 90-something. She had a birthday not long ago, didn't she?
Yeah. They've been showing pictures on Fox News of when he was very young and watched him progress in age through the years when he was in the military and when they got married and all that. It's fun to watch them, how they looked back in those days, because they've always been part of the royal family.
Yeah. And I'm glad nobody ain't looking at my pictures.
Well, I don't know.
I had jet black hair, and now it's snow white.
So did I.
I remember when you had black hair.
Yeah. Working in radio turned it gray.
Oh, my goodness. You know not.
Listen, you have a wonderful weekend.
Okay, you too, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Brenda Kelly reporting out of Union Mills this morning at 7:36 here on this Friday morning edition of the Morning Report. High school football Friday night tonight, and Mr. Jay Coombs will be talking with us a little after 8 o'clock about that game tonight, how it's matching up and the conference and what we look forward to for senior playoffs for the season. We'll see what that's all about with Mr. Friday night a little after 8 o'clock. Braves, let's see, they play tonight as well, but we'll join them if indeed they're still playing when high school game is over. They're on a series with the Phillies. They play Phillies tomorrow evening, 6:05 airtime, and they play the Phillies again on Sunday, and that's a 5:55 airtime on Sunday evening. So we'll try to get as many of the Braves games in as we possibly can. Let me remind those of you who are big Braves fans and like those pocket schedules, we've got some in. We have them out here in front of the lobby, so stop by and claim as many as you'd like to have.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Now it's 7:38 and 55 degrees. Let's head up toward Ellenboro and talk with the prince of the street over there, Mr. Lucy Gilligan. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Nice day to here this morning.
Yes, it is. Yes,
a little bit on the cloudy side, but it's a nice day. You're going to have a good time today, but it's quiet there this morning. Not a whole lot happening. Everything been quiet. People didn't have anything going on yesterday. Everybody just going to work trying to get this last day of the weekend, getting ready for a big weekend. Don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to have a big time. And nothing going on down here, Jim. So you have a great day up there. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.
Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you then. Thanks.
All right, take care now.
Bye. Quiet in Ellenboro this morning as well. A lot of quietness around the county, which we like. We like those quietness times. And we'll check again tomorrow morning, and Todd will be on to do the call-around report for a Saturday morning. And you can catch the afternoon report with Kevin Pleasant this afternoon or a little after 5 o'clock. We check around some other places that we don't check in the morning and check with some that we do check in the morning. So you get a good crossover of news right here, morning and afternoon reports on 100.9 FM, 590 AM. Now it's time for birthdays and anniversaries for this 9th day of April. So call that into us now at 287-3356, 287-3356, and we'll announce your birthday over the radio.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Now, wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you, and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net. Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today. While they're fresh, they're good, they're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Granny B's new hours, that's Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. So keep that in mind. It's always good to stop in Granny B's for a cup of coffee, fresh donut, or maybe even have one of those big subs for lunch.
Happy birthday.
We have a couple of birthdays to share with you this morning. Norma McNeely is 62, lives up in the beautiful Sunshine area. And Daniel Harden is 60. We wish all these folks, both of them, a happy, happy birthday. Coming up in just a few moments, Keys to Confident Living. And we'll take you down memory lane and enjoy some of the classic oldies that we format here. And then, top of the hour, 8:05 this morning, Mr. Friday Night. We'll be talking about Friday night football, of course, right here on WCAB.
InfoSearch tells the story of one man who has been labeled the hero of the Velvet Revolution. This was the revolution that toppled the communists in Czechoslovakia. The communists had taken Father Vaclav Mele's minister's license away from him years earlier because he was unwilling to sign an allegiance to the state. As a consequence, he cleaned toilets in the subways during the day, but he also conducted services in believers' homes at night. In the 1989 uprising in Prague, a crowd of 800,000 gathered in Wenceslas Square to listen to Mele preach. As a result of his preaching and the response of the people, the tanks were stopped and the communists fled. The crowd loved Mele. He became so popular that Václav Havel, the newly elected Czech president, offered him a position in government. But Mele said no. He wanted to return to his church so he could preach the gospel. Sometime later, an American told Mele that he was a great hero for many in the West. The Czech pastor cut him off in mid-sentence. No, he said, a hero is one who does something that he is not required to do. I simply did my duty. In a day bereft of much that is noble, how exciting to see those who go above and beyond the call of duty to further a noble cause. This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
WCAB
Get your local weather at 5 past the hour here on WCAB.
Longest serving consort in British history died just 2 months short of his 100th birthday. The Prince and the Queen were married for more than 70 years, and Philip dedicated decades of his life to royal duty, serving the nation at the monarch's side. He officially retired from public engagements in the summer of 2017.
The palace says further announcements will be made in due course. In the U.S., a pair of mass shootings are under investigation. 5 people were killed in Wednesday in Rock Hill, South Carolina, allegedly by former NFL player Philip Adams, who authorities say then killed himself. Thursday, 1 person was killed, 6 others were hurt in a workplace shooting in Bryan, Texas.
27-year-old Larry Bolin worked at the cabinet factory where yesterday's mass shooting took place. Amelia Rodriguez is a co-worker.
Everybody's in shock because the guy, he was a very peaceful guy and calm. You know, he was very calm all the time and be working there for maybe more than a year.
Investigators don't know what was behind the killing of 1 person and the wounding of 6 others, including a Texas state trooper. Bolin is in custody, his bond set at $1 million. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
That shooting came just hours after President Biden addressed gun violence from the Rose Garden at the White House.
This is an epidemic, for God's sake, and it has to stop.
He announced a half-dozen executive actions intended to reduce gun violence. Today, he'll receive a briefing and comment on the nation's economy. The U.S. death toll from COVID-19 has now surpassed 560,000 people, but vaccinations continue. 1 in 4 adults have now been fully vaccinated. That's about 20% of the total U.S. population, according to the CDC. You're listening to ABC News.
They're pounding on the door. They're calling on the phone. It's the collectors. It's those credit cards you ran up trying to start your business. Now you found out that a DBA hurts the family and brings the pain home.
Do you remember hearing these commercials on radio? For over 40 years, Ray Reynolds has helped customers get millions in credit. It's no wonder why they call him the godfather of credit. Ray Reynolds will get your score above 720. Do you need $50,000 of corporate credit? By using corporate credit, you can finance a business, buy real estate and stock under a corporation. Take advantage of numerous tax write-offs only available to a corporation. Now you can meet Ray Reynolds on his daily webinar at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, or call 800-490-4140 to find out more about his secrets to success in helping fix and improve your credit. Go to rayswebinar.com at 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. Monday through Friday and check out his free, very informative webinar, or call 800-490-4140 now. It's worth your time and you'll learn a lot. That's rayswebinar.com or call 800-490-4140.
Brazil setting grim new records. Over 4,200 people dying yesterday there from the coronavirus. That's the most the country has ever seen in a 24-hour period. A volcano is possibly on the verge of erupting on the Caribbean island of St. Vincent. Officials there are ordering evacuations. Several cruise ships are being used to help move thousands of people out of harm's way. Dr. Arosilla Joseph, director of the University of the West Indies Seismic Center, says the volcano could also interrupt air travel.
Any ashfall that an ash column that are carried in the winds throughout the region can hamper air traffic in the region.
Space Force is getting a new command site in L.A., says ABC's Alex Stone.
Already, Los Angeles Air Force Base has been home to research and development of military space systems, and it's only a few miles away from the headquarters of SpaceX. Now, Governor Gavin Newsom announcing the military will create the Space Systems Command at the base, which will serve as a field command site for the U.S. Space Force. Newsom saying the command will have nationwide authority of launches and procurement. With it, the governor says will come many jobs. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
General Motors is being forced to stop or slow down production at 3 plants in North America. It's because of a shortage of computer chips. Work stoppages at 2 more plants being extended until May. This is ABC News.
Woke culture is threatening our freedoms and even our police. Now, Grant Stinchfield exposes woke's secret agenda and its hidden players. Watch Stinchfield at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight on Newsmax TV as he reveals the dangers. Stinchfield gives you the cold, hard truth you need to know. Find Newsmax TV on all major cable systems or get it free on Roku, YouTube, Xumo, Pluto, and smart TVs. Download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone. Woke is dangerous, so watch Stinchfield on Newsmax tonight.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
When you get a hankering for lunch, remember Jesse James Railroad Express. They have a menu full of delicious items such as burgers, chicken salad croissants, fresh salads, hot dogs, taco salads, and much, much more. Don't forget the refreshing drinks like milkshakes, Coke floats, or hand-dipped ice cream. They are now serving French fries and onion rings. Hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m., closed Wednesdays and Sundays. For takeout, give them a call at 828-447-4644, located at 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Don't forget, Mondays only, 99-cent hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions. That's Jesse James of Railroad Express. All aboard.
We are tracking our next cold front moving through the Plain States this afternoon. Should move through here Sunday morning. Once it passes, some dry air comes in. You'll definitely feel it come Monday. Now, today, a chance for showers and storms later this afternoon. About a 30 to 40% chance. Upper 70s to low 80s. 40% chance for evening storms. Mostly cloudy overnight with upper 50s. Tomorrow is partly to mostly cloudy. Scattered showers and storms. They're more likely, the high in the mid-70s. I'm Mike Mays in the Weather Center.
Thanks very much, Mike Mays. We have 54 degrees on our thermometer, according to Peter the meter reader, at 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. I would guess maybe we get a little time outdoors to maybe do some planting of flowers or maybe some garden seeds. But then tomorrow, it's supposed to be heavy rain, 80% chance of that happening. Sunday, clearing out of here a little bit. Sunday night, clear and lows around 48. And Monday, sunny skies and 77 and mostly clear on Monday night. Looks like I'm looking further down the temperature scale in the weather. Looks like we got good weather on Tuesday, isolated showers on Wednesday, and clearing out again for Thursday. So not bad, up and down the scale, whatever you like. Hang around a little while, it's going to come back, so that's great. And it's Friday, and big exciting things happen on Friday night. This around here, mostly in the fall, but this year has been an exciting springtime. And Mr. Friday Night, Jay Coombs is on the telephone with me right now to talk about what's coming up tonight. Mr. Friday Night, Jay Coombs, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jim.
Hope you're feeling well and happy today.
Feeling pretty good. And I tell you what, this short season, 7 weeks, and boom, here we are. Tonight is the last week of the regular season.
Oh, wow.
Hard to believe it has just gone zipping right past. I honestly don't know if we could find a more competitive game than what we had last Friday night up in Rutherfordton. That was a battle. 50-49. We went to overtime, Chase defeating RS Central. But as far as an exciting game for the fans, an exciting game to broadcast, that one is going to be hard to beat in the weeks and even maybe the years to come. Now, tonight, we've got all kinds of playoff possibilities up for grabs. First of all, let's start with the team that has an open date, and it comes at a good time because of some nagging injuries, bumps and bruises. Having the open date this week for Thomas Jefferson gives them a little bit of time to get some of those things healed up and to rest up just a little bit. We know that the Griffins are going to make the 1A playoffs. The only question is we don't know how they'll be seeded or who they will face when they start off the playoffs next Friday night. But the Griffins, with their 48-8 win last Thursday night over Bessemer City, they finished the regular season undefeated, 6-0 overall, 5-0 in the Southern Piedmont Conference. Now, there is one other undefeated team in the Southern Piedmont Conference, and that would be Pine Lake Prep. They are currently sitting at 6-0 and 5-0, but they have one very important game left to play tonight, and that will be when they travel to the Community School of Davidson. Griffins fans are really pulling for Community School of Davidson tonight because if they can defeat Pine Lake Prep, that would give TJ outright the conference championship and the number one playoff spot coming out of that Southern Piedmont Conference. Now, we already know that it will be TJ, Pine Lake Prep, and Community School of Davidson earning the three, they get 3 automatic bids because there are 9 teams in that Southern Piedmont Conference. The only thing we don't know is how they'll be seated, who they will have to face. There will be no buys, no first-round buys, as there have been in previous seasons. So a lot of eyes tonight will be looking on that Pine Lake Prep at Community School of Davidson game. And, now let's get really complicated. Chase tonight finishing up the regular season in Belmont against the South Point Red Raiders. Both teams are 4-2 overall. They are both 3-2 in the Southwestern Conference. Our game tonight is Burns at RS Central. Burns 4-2 overall. They lost non-conference game last week to Crest, but the Bulldogs are 4-1, sitting in second place in the Southwestern Conference. Right behind them, the Hilltoppers. RS Central 4-2, 3-2 in the conference. So what does this all add up to? Well, Shelby has won the conference championship. They already know that they have the number 1 playoff spot coming out of the conference. If Burns defeats RS Central tonight, Burns would get the second and the final playoff spot in the conference. Now, if the Hilltoppers can beat Burns tonight and Chase can beat South Point, then we would have 3 teams, Burns, Chase, RS Central, all tied at 4-2 for second place. Here's the sad news. It would be the luck of a draw. These 3 would have to get together, probably their head coaches. They would have a drawing to determine who gets the playoff spot, and that's sad because one team would get the luck of the draw and the other 2 probably sitting at home next week in the playoffs. Now, what if the Hilltoppers beat Burns tonight and South Point beats Chase tonight? Well, then we still have Central, Burns, South Point all tied at 4-2, but the first thing you look at is the head-to-head competition. And the Hilltoppers have already beaten South Point, and a win tonight would give them that win over Burns, and the Hilltoppers would get that number 2 playoff spot coming out of the Southwestern Conference. So here we are, the last week of the regular season, and there still are a lot of questions to be answered. In the playoffs this year, only 32 teams get in. And that means 16 from the eastern half of the state, 16 from the western. In the 2A, there'll be a large 2AA bracket. There'll be a small 2A bracket. But you're talking about a total of 32 teams in between the large and the small 2A brackets. There is only one wild card spot to be awarded for a team that does not finish first or second in their conference. Now, we'd like to think that at-large bid should come to one of these teams in the Southwestern Conference, but that is up in the air. There's no guarantee of that. Sad news this week out of East Rutherford. Cavaliers scheduled to play Shelby last night, but they've had some problems out at East this week. The Cavaliers ended up having to forfeit that game to Shelby. So the Cavaliers finish up winless this season, 0-7 and 0-6 in the bottom of the conference race. So, 7 o'clock kickoff tonight in Rutherfordton. 6:30 we'll be on the air with the countdown to kickoff. This is going to be an interesting night, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Playoffs, those pairings will be announced by the state tomorrow. So probably by early tomorrow afternoon, we'll have a pretty good idea what the playoff pairings are going to be starting next week.
Be interesting to find that out, because certainly we want to be right there with whoever goes from our county to that. It's going to be an exciting night tonight, Jay. I really admire the way you have all those stats in your mind and get to present those to us so diligently, and I appreciate it.
Jim, they're called Post-it notes. And you get the little square yellow pieces of paper,
yes.
And, man, you can just put all kinds of notes on those, and they can help anybody sound like they know what they're talking about.
Well, you certainly do, and folks enjoy listening to you on Friday mornings and on Friday nights as well with those games. And we'll have you on again tonight on WCAB and also on our web at www.wcab59.com. And I believe you folks do some Facebook streaming too, don't you?
Oh, Cliff is on Facebook 24/7, I think. Yeah, Cliff takes care of all of our Facebook stuff, and I do a little bit with the Twitter. So all you have to do is look for WCAB Football, and you'll be able to find us.
We'll find out what happens tonight. Be sure to stay tuned and keep us posted, Jay, and thank you so very much.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Bye-bye. Jay Combs, Mr. Friday Night on the radio. Boy, he has those figures and those stats. He watches that, studies that, and we're very fortunate to have him on the air with us on Football Friday Night and springtime football. 17 minutes after 8 o'clock, the Sheriff's Report with Deputy Greenway coming up here in just a few moments.
Get the most out of your tax refund with Bark Mobile's Refund Rack-Up event. Come in this tax season and get a great smartphone at a price you can't beat. Absolutely free. That's right. Get the popular LG Stylo 6 or LG K51 for free when you switch to Bark Mobile. Then rack up even more savings with unlimited data for $45 a month with AutoPay and take your tax refund to the max. Visit a store today to get the most with Bark Mobile. Mobile made easy. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit mybarkmobile.com/terms and conditions.
If you won the new Millionaire Maker Scratch-Off, what kind of millionaire would you be? Are you the turns their backyard into a golf course millionaire? Or maybe the builds a matching mansion just for your dog millionaire? Good boy. Or the escapes to your private beach when life gets busy millionaire? Sweet. Millionaire Maker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With 30 top prizes of $1 million, it could be your shot at becoming a millionaire. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 2.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is taking appointment times for the COVID-19 vaccination. There are 2 ways to schedule an appointment. First, go to our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com, click on the COVID-19 vaccination tab. Then fill out the consent form, choose your group, and at that time you'll be able to choose an available appointment time. Second, you can just call our pharmacy to schedule an appointment time and we can help you fill out the consent form over the phone. We also at times do have some vaccines available later in the evening, and these are posted on Facebook when we do. If you have any questions or concern, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
For a delicious meal every day, call on Gregory's Original. Choose from their top menu of burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday, noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford. Gregory's Original.
The Sheriff's Report coming up here in just a few moments. Let me ask you, do you remember the good taste of a fresh, straight from the farm Vidalia onion? Now, you can find onions sometimes they say they're Vidalias, but unless they're straight from the farm Vidalias, it may be misleading. You can have it again this year. The Rutherford County GOP is having their annual Vidalia Onion fundraiser, and you can order yours today. 10-pound bag of Vidalias, $10. 25-pound bag, $20. Orders are being taken now, and the shipment will be here late this month or early May. Orders as many as you like for your family and tell your friends about it. Vidalia Onion, 10 pounds, $10, 25 pound, $20. Nothing like them. They're quality. Call Robin Smith at 429-7822 or stop by the GOP headquarters, Main Street, Rutherfordton, or you can stop by here. I'll be glad to take care of you as well. And place your order for a fresh from the farm Vidalia onions. They're good. Here now is Deputy Greenway with our report.
So in the last 24 hours, Sheriff's Office has responded to 139 calls for service, made 7 arrests. There's currently 135 in the jail. I'll begin with our incident reports. Mary Klein reported an incident of damage to personal property. James Jenkins reported an incident of felony breaking and entering, larceny after breaking and entering. Tony Allen reported an incident of misdemeanor larceny. Marcia Days reported a breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. And Lacey Bailey reported a financial card fraud. Moving on to our arrest reports, Stacy Shade was served with a warrant for assault on a female. Craig Swink was arrested for driving while license revoked and fictitious registration plate. Brian Robertson was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. And Joseph Wayne Mabry was arrested for extradition out of another state. That completes the morning report, sir.
If you won the new Millionaire Maker Scratch-Off, what kind of millionaire would you be? Are you the turns their backyard into a golf course millionaire? Or maybe the builds a matching mansion just for your dog millionaire? Good boy. Or the escapes to your private beach when life gets busy millionaire? Sweet. Millionaire Maker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With 30 top prizes of $1 million, it could be your shot at becoming a millionaire. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 2.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Well, on the local scene, West 6th Street will soon become a one-way street in Rutherfordton. That was decided by Rutherfordton Town Council at its meeting Wednesday, following a presentation by Town Manager Doug Barrick. At the request of Town Council, the JMT Engineering and Planning conducted a study of the West 6th and West 7th Street, which included reviewing traffic flow while considering the possible conversion of both streets to one-way configuration. Both streets are currently two-way and run east and west between North Main and North Washington Street. So it soon will become a one-way street thanks to the Town Council there in Rutherfordton. Well, a number of Republican Georgia lawmakers want to see Coca-Cola products removed from their offices after the corporation caved to the woke supremacy and joined the chorus of liars speaking out against Georgia's new election law. In a letter to Georgia Beverage Association President Kevin Perry, 8 members of the Georgia House of Representatives apparently shamed Coca-Cola for apparently not ever reading the Georgia law. They just swallowed hook, line, and sinker what the woke was telling them. Given Coke's choice to cave to the pressure of an out-of-control cancel culture, we respectfully request all Coca-Cola Company products be removed from our office suite immediately, they told the company. Should Coke choose to read the bill, share its true intentions, and accept the role in the dissemination of mistruths, we would welcome a conversation to rebuild a working relationship. And that's what they're doing. And a lot of folks are swearing off of Coca-Cola because of the kind of thing that they did in that respect of bowing to the pressure of the leftist society and all that pulling out of the All-Star baseball game in Georgia. Georgia's where Coke was founded, I believe. Isn't that right? And they move. So they don't think about these. They just do it and regret it later. Anyway, sports is coming up next. Update on sports from around our network in 8:30 this morning. The Word of Faith radio program continues right here exclusively on WCAB. Have a great weekend, folks. I've enjoyed being a part of your mornings. Thank you for letting me be there, and I look forward to being back with you on Monday morning right here on WCAB.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Vincent Trocheck continued to dominate his former employer as he helped his new one, the Carolina Hurricanes, best the Florida Panthers 3-0 last night and move into first place in the Central Division of the NHL. With 17 games remaining on the regular season, the Canes are running hot. They've won 3 in a row, 7 out of 9, and 15 of their last 20. Win pretty, ugly, it doesn't matter, just win. Head coach Rod Brindamore, he says games don't always go how they're drawn up, but the players adjust and, well, they find a way.
It starts with this group is willingness to prepare and then go to work. And right now, it just feels like when we're not at our best, because you can't be your best every night. The other team's trying to make that impossible to happen, so sometimes it doesn't look right. The guys dig in, they literally have not thrown a layup yet. There's always usually have a couple games where you're like, wow, we just didn't have it. These guys have worked their butts off. That's why we're finding ways to win.
Justin Rose opened with a 5-under-65 at the first round of the Masters to grab a 4-stroke lead at Augusta. Tommy Fleetwood made a hole-in-one, meanwhile, in his first round on the 16th.
It wasn't going straight at the pin, but it was still a great shot and a couple of bounces in him.
Brian Harmon was the last player to qualify for the 88-man field, and he has a share of second place with Hideki Matsuyama. They are one ahead of Patrick Reed and Raleigh native Webb Simpson, who says we didn't see his best during yesterday's opening round.
I feel like I left a lot out there, which is a good feeling. It's disappointing to only get 2 under. I had 25 feet for eagle and 2 made par, 3 putted 5, and then obviously 16 hit in the water. Good news is I feel like the game is really there. But I'll look back on this round, and though a couple shots sting, I'm really happy with the way I played.
The Charlotte Hornets on the road tonight in Milwaukee to take on the Bucks, who lost last night to Dallas. Miami edged the Lakers, and they move into a 3-way tie with Charlotte and Atlanta for the Southeast Division lead. Carolina, though, has 2 games in hand on both the Heat and the Hawks. This is NCN Sports.
Smart shoppers will tell you they found it on HighBid.com. HighBid.com lets you explore thousands of auctions across the U.S. and around the world. You'll find gold coins, sporting goods, classic cars, collectible toys, fine jewelry, household items, and sports memorabilia autographed by the greats. HighBid.com has hundreds of thousands of items for sale every day. It's easy to search and easy to find auctions in your area. Just go to HighBid.com. That's HiBid.com and see what everyone is talking about.
If the power goes out for your business, are you prepared with a backup? Without electricity, security systems go down, refrigerated items spoil, and customers are turned away. In other words, your business loses money. Control your power. Control your business with a Generac automatic standby generator. Alternative Power is North Carolina's Generac generator experts. In fact, all Alternative Power does is provide backup power. Financing options are available. See more at alternativepower.com.
South Carolina authorities say a former NFL player, Philip Adams, fatally shot 5 people, including a prominent doctor, his wife, and their 2 grandchildren before killing himself. York County Sheriff Kevin Tolson said at a news conference yesterday that investigators had not yet determined a motive. Tolson said evidence at the scene of Wednesday's shooting led authorities to Adams at his parents' nearby home. That's where he was found dead. French Open officials say the clay court tournament is being pushed back a week because of surging virus cases in France. It was scheduled to start May 23rd, but first-round matches will now get underway on May 30th. This year's Australian Open was delayed by 3 weeks because of the virus, and quarantine restrictions affected the preparations of several players. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
We are tracking our next cold front moving through the Plain States this afternoon. Should move through here Sunday morning. Once it passes, some dry air comes in. You'll definitely feel it come Monday. Now, today, a chance for showers and storms later this afternoon. About a 30 to 40% chance. Upper 70s to low 80s. 40% chance for evening storms. Mostly cloudy overnight with upper 50s. Tomorrow is partly to mostly cloudy. Scattered showers and storms. They're more likely the high in the mid-70s. I'm Mike Mays in the Weather Center.
It is currently 55 degrees, warming up today to a nice temperature reading for us here in the springtime of 80 degrees. 80 degrees for the high today. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherford. And be sure to join us tonight for high school football Friday night, another exciting night under the lights here on WCAB. It's time now for the Word of Faith radio program. And with the program this morning is Larry King Jr. Good morning.
Good morning, Rutherford County. This is Larry King with you this morning. Happy to be here with you. I hope you're doing well and everything's going well. Your family's healthy and well. I'm excited to be with you today. It's been just a little bit, but got some things in my heart I wanted to share with you that God's been doing a work in my heart, and I hope when I share it with you, it'll help you. Help you as well. God's been doing a work in my heart, and I think this will continue until Jesus comes back. On patience. The Word of God has a lot to say about patience and letting the patience being worked on the inside of you. And so I'm going to start out, I'm going to read the definition of patience with you. I wanted to look that up because patience should be working on our hearts every day. And what patience, the definition is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. It also is the ability to remain calm and not become annoyed when dealing with problems or with difficult people. That's good. It says to remain calm and not become annoyed when dealing with problems or with difficult people. It is attributed to both God and man and is closely related to mercy and compassion. Who doesn't like mercy and compassion? We like to receive mercy and compassion, but we also should be able to give mercy and compassion. But the ability to remain calm and not become annoyed when dealing with problems or with difficult people. I'm a realtor. I sell real estate up in the Lake Lure area, and I get a work in my a patience in my heart many days on the way up to the office. If you're going through Green Hill, different places, but you'll get to a certain place as you're heading up to Lake Lure that you can't pass any cars, and you get a car in front of you that's moving, the speed limit's 45 and they're doing 25 and 30. I have to check my heart. How am I dealing with problems or with difficult people? Am I getting annoyed, or if I'm having the love of God in my heart? And that's all has to do with patience. Another scripture I wanted to share with you is in 2 Peter 3:9. It said, the Lord does not delay and is not tardy or slow about what he promises, according to some people's conception of slowness. But listen to this. He says, God is long-suffering, extraordinarily patient. That means in a remarkable way patient. It's unusual patience toward you, not desiring that any should perish, but that all should turn in repentance. And that's the heart of God. With people, with difficult people that you feel are difficult, God's love, God has love for them, and there's a gift of God on the inside of them, and God wants you to display that love to them, and he doesn't desire anybody to perish, but he wants everybody to turn to repentance. Think about in our own lives, how many times have we received the mercy and patience of God? And this one, Isaiah 40:31, it said, but those who wait for the Lord, who expect, look for, and hope in him shall change and renew their strength. It's talking about waiting on God. They shall lift up their wings and mount up close to God as eagles. Mount up to the sun. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint and become tired. There's a little song that we used to sing, It says, those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings of eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint. Teach me, Lord, to wait. And that's what I want to talk to you. It's so important. That's the gist of what I want to get to you. It's so important to wait on God for his plan to develop. Because when we run ahead of God, we make so many messes. Another scripture before I share some examples with you is Galatians 6:9. He said, let us not grow weary, become discouraged in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap if we do not give in, what happens to people is they don't see the plan of God, and so they want to rush ahead and they want to, what they say, help God out. And God's plan will develop. If God has spoken something to you and put something in your heart, it will come about. God's plan will be fulfilled. And in James 2:13, it says, "For to him, who has shown no mercy, no patience, you could say, the judgment will be merciless." And we don't want that. We don't want that in our lives. We don't want to be merciless. I mean, we like to receive mercy, so we need to give that mercy. So I'm going to share with you over in Hebrews. In Hebrews, it says, this is Hebrews 10, verse 35. "Do not therefore fling away your fearless confidence, for it carries a great and glorious compensation of reward." It says, "For we have need of steadfast patience and endurance, so that we may perform and fully accomplish the will of God, and thus receive and carry away and enjoy to the full what is promised." Only way we're going to be able to enjoy to the full what is promised, it says we have need of that patience and endurance, because it says right there, it said God, we have a conception of slowness. With God, one day is 1,000 years. And so we think that certain things should happen at a certain time, but the timing of God is perfect. I always heard growing up, God's timing is perfect. He's always on time. I have an example. I had a house, not house, it was a piece of land that I was listing, and it's up in a remote area. And so this was back, I think it was back in December. And so the weather had been bad, and had been raining and sleet, but in the higher elevations, that rain and sleet is actually snow. So I waited till a time where I felt like it had melted down. But there were certain areas where this property was where the sun didn't hit the roads to melt the ice and the snow. So I'm on my way up to this property, which it's almost like a logging road, and so I have 4-wheel drive. So I'm on my way, and what happens is, actually, let me share this. There's only 2 properties up there that people that live up there full time, and it's way up there. And so I'm on my way to this property. I'm driving across the mud, and drove by over this one place where I thought it was just slush, and come to find out it was not. So I drove over it, and I got to the second one, and my wheels just spun, and I was like, oh no! So when I got out of my car, I stepped out and I almost wiped out. And the first thing I did was say, "Oh, forgive me, Jesus." I mean, you're talking about a remote area. And it's like, my car was on a sheet of ice. I'm like, "Oh, Jesus, forgive me, forgive me." I'm just repenting because I didn't hear God's voice. And so just as I'm looking at my car, how am I going to, because I was in the middle of this ice patch, and I did not know how I was going to get back down off of this mountain, because nobody comes up there. When I look behind me, there was a gentleman that was going to come up there and work on the satellite, or for cable TV or something, and he had just come right behind me, right at the perfect timing. God's timing was perfect, and I didn't know what I was going to do, because I couldn't, I was going to have to back up, and as I started to do that on my own, my car was sliding, and on the other side of this road it's just a drop off of cliff. So this gentleman was very patient with me. He was very patient. He said, "Hold on, let me back up my truck, and I'll help you." And he guided me back, and I had to drive my car up on the side of the hill, and the Spirit of God was so gracious to me through that man, and he was able to help me back all the way down. It was a good little ways. I was so grateful and thankful that he didn't, get impatient and says, "Oh, just let the snow melt." If I would have had to wait, I mean, it would have been, I know, at least 3 or 4 or 5 days, maybe a week before I could get my car down. So when I got all the way back down and got, down to safety, I was so grateful and to this man. I asked him if there's anything I could do. He said, I tell you what you can do for me. He said, here in a few months, I'm going to be looking for a house. He said, here's my card. He said, you give me your card and we'll get in contact. So, I mean, I'm so grateful for the timing of God. I mean, that man was very patient with me, and it made me want to have that same kind of heart to help somebody else. So let's jump over into the Old Testament of some places where God's people weren't patient. It's God delivered His people out of Egypt, and partly brought them through the Red Sea, brought them through all these difficult circumstances. And at one point, Moses had gone up to get the commandments of God for the people of God, for Israel. And so what happened, he was gone for a while. And if you look over in Exodus 32, what happened was, it says in verse 1, when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down from the mountain, they gathered together to Aaron and said to him, make us gods. See, they weren't patient. They saw that Moses had delayed in coming back. It said, make us gods before us. As for Moses, this man who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. They were impatient. So Aaron replied, take the gold, and they began to take the gold from the wives and the sons and daughters, and this is Aaron, said, bring them to me. So all the people took the gold and the rings and the ears, and so whenever he received them, he said, at their hand, and he fashioned it with a graving tool and made a calf. And they said, these are our gods, O Israel, who brought us up out of the land of Egypt. Just think how grieved God was for him to deliver his people that way. And all of a sudden they get impatient that, their leader is gone. And all of a sudden they decide, wait a minute, we need, something. And so Aaron fashioned this golden calf for these people. And when Aaron saw the molten calf, he built an altar for it. And then idolatry. I mean, and tomorrow we will make a feast to the Lord. I mean, think about that. We have idols in our life. And the biggest idol we have in our life is the idol of self-will. We don't necessarily have a statue or some kind of image, but when we're not obeying God and hearing His voice and doing we do what we want to do, that's the same thing. That's idolatry. And so what happened? So they rose up. The people, they rose up the next day, and they began to sacrifice to this idol. And the Lord, this is what the Lord said to Moses: go down, for your people whom you brought out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly. Think about it. They weren't patient, waiting on God from the way I commanded them. They have made a calf and are worshiping it and sacrificing to it. And they said, these are your gods, O Israel, that brought you out of the land of Egypt. And the Lord said to Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Let that not be said of us. Let that not be said of us, that we are stiff-necked people. And just because something doesn't happen in the timing that we think it should happen, that we begin to say, that's what's happening in the world right now. They think that different places, people have been saying Jesus is going to be coming back for so long, and where's the promise of His coming? But I mean, look where we're at right now. There's things happening now we thought we would never see. We thought we would never see that you are required to have a card, a vaccination card, whatever, to go in certain places of business. I'm thinking, this is setting everything up for the coming, for the Antichrist. So, we need to have, we have got to have a work of patience in our heart so we can fully, fulfill the will of God in our lives. So what happened? Moses came down from the mountain with the tables, which were the work of God. The writing was the writing of God graven upon the tables. And see, Moses was going up to get the word of the Lord for the people, but they weren't patient. And as soon as Moses came near to the camp and he saw the calf and dancing, Moses' anger blazed hot. And there's a such thing as a righteous indignation. There's just the frustration. But whenever, God is a jealous God, and He doesn't want us to have any other gods before Him. And so what happened? Moses took the calf and he burned it and fire and ground it. And he dealt with that idolatry. He dealt with it to the core. But what did Moses? And Moses said to Aaron, what did these people do to you that you have brought this great sin upon them? I mean, he wasn't that example that God wanted him to be, and he allowed the people to get out of hand. And listen to what Aaron said. Aaron said, let not the anger of my Lord blaze hot. You know this people, that they are set on evil. So begin to make excuses for them. For they said to me, listen to this. This is real key right here. This is what Aaron said. Aaron said, they said to me, make us gods which shall go before us. As for this Moses, the man who brought us up out of Egypt, land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. I said to them, those who have any gold, let them take it off. So they gave it to me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf. That was a lie. That was a lie. That's what happens when we get ahead of God and we make a mess. We begin to make excuses. That's not what happened. He fashioned this with his hand, but he felt convicted in his heart. And what happens when you feel that conviction? Instead of him saying, God, forgive me, he began to make excuses and say, I took this gold, I threw it in the fire, and out came this calf. But God was merciful. God was merciful to his people, and he kept delivering them over and over. And I mean, it's what's the word of God said. He's extraordinarily patient. I mean, not designed for anybody to perish, but he wants us to turn to repentance. Another example I have is over in 1 Samuel 10, where the people of God, they wanted to be like the other nations, Israel, and they wanted to have a king. But God through the prophet was saying, no, this, I want to be king over you. If you have this king, this is what's going to happen. He's going to take, all these different things, and it's just not the will of God. Let me be king. But they insisted, no, we want a king. So Samuel went to God, and God said, okay, they haven't rejected you, Samuel. They rejected me. So we'll give them a king, but just tell them when all these things begin to happen with this king, that if their king and them, if they turn their heart to God, I'll forgive them, and I'll bring them into the place that I have for them. So this is what happened. Samuel, he took a vial of oil, and he anointed Saul's head, and it says that has not the Lord anointed you to become the prince over my heritage Israel? So Samuel began to command and to give instructions to Saul about what he was to do. He specifically, if you want to read this, 1 Samuel 10, you can read, basically, he began to lay out to him the plan of God. It says in verse 6, what happened was the Spirit of the Lord will come upon you mightily, and you will show yourself to be a prophet with them, with the people, and you will be turned into another man. God's going to change his heart. It says, when these signs meet you, do whatever you do whatever you find to be done. For God is with you. To see, the Spirit of God was with Saul. You shall go down before me to Gilgal, and behold, I will come down to you to offer burnt offerings and sacrifice peace offerings. You shall wait. Listen to this. This is the commandment. You shall wait 7 days until I come to you, and you shall and show you what you shall do. So he got specific instructions of what to be done, how he was going to go into this place of being king. And so what happened? Verse 9, when Saul had turned his back to leave Samuel, the prophet, God gave him another heart. That's what we want. So God changed him. God changed this man. God gave him another heart, and all the signs came to pass that day. So that was a confirmation. He should have locked that in his heart. That was a confirmation. God gave him a new heart, and everything that Samuel was locking him in and telling him, it came to pass. But what happened? What happened? You jump over into chapter 13, begins to talk about Saul when he began his reign. And so what happened was there was a situation that happened where the Philistine army was coming out against him, and Samuel hadn't come yet. So in verse 5, the Philistines gathered to fight with Israel, 30,000 chariots, 6,000 horsemen, and troops like the sand of the seashore in multitude. They came up and encamped at Michmash, east of Bethaven. When the man of Israel saw that they were in a tight situation, think about that. How many times I was in a tight situation? I was in a very tight situation. I didn't know what I was going to do to get down off that mountain. I was like, oh God, please help me. I mean, literally fear gripped my heart. I would think I'm going to go off the cliff. So when you get in that tight situation, you got to be patient. You got to wait on God. You need to hear his voice. For their troops were hard pressed. Listen, what happened? The troops hid in caves, holes, rocks, tombs, pits. They were afraid. Some Hebrews had gone over the Jordan and to the land of Gad and Gilead. As for Saul, he was in Gilgal, and all the people following him trembled. They were trembling. They were afraid. Here it is. This is key right here. Verse 8. Saul waited 7 days according to the set time Samuel had appointed. But Samuel the prophet had not come to Gilgal. And the people were scattering from Saul. So a lot was going on right there. So Saul waited 7 days like he was commanded to. So he was waiting. And so, but what happened is things started to happen. So Saul said, he felt the pressure. So Saul said, bring me the burnt offering and the peace offering. And he offered the burnt offering, which he was forbidden to do. What does it say over here about patience? It's the ability to remain calm and not become annoyed when dealing with problems with difficult people. So Saul was not patient. So he said, bring it to me. He just did it. Listen, verse 10. Just as he finished offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came. Saul went out to meet and greet him. Think about that. Anytime we've done something and we don't wait on God and we just do something, and the very thing that God told us to do, to wait on, it comes to pass, and we've already made a mess. We've made a mess. So that's what happened. Just as he finished doing something he was forbidden to do, watch, the plan of God comes in. Samuel said, what have you done? Because I saw, Samuel said, what have you done? And Saul said, because, he's going to give excuses. I saw that the people were scattering from me, and that you did not come within the days appointed, and that the Philistines were assembled in Michmash. I thought the Philistines will come down. They said, that's the problem right there. Had a thought. The Philistines will come down upon me to Gilgal, and I have not made supplication. This all sounds good. He said, I haven't made supplication to the Lord. So I forced myself to offer a burnt offering. He didn't force himself. He chose. It wasn't like it was hard for him to do. See, he's making excuses. And Samuel said to Saul, you have done foolishly. You have not kept the commandment of the Lord your God, which he commanded you. For the Lord would have established your kingdom over Israel forever. But now your kingdom shall not continue. The Lord has sought out David, a man after his own heart, and the Lord has commanded him to be prince and rule over his people, because you have not kept what the Lord commanded you. What was that scripture I read earlier? It says that we had need of patience and to fully enjoy and fulfill the call of God on our lives. So that's what happened. So Saul did not fulfill the call of God. God would change the man's heart. So let's read this over in Psalms 106. In Psalms 106, it shares some of what I've already shared with you. What does it say? It says, our fathers in Egypt understood not nor appreciated your miracles. Let that not be us. We don't want to do that. We don't want to not appreciate the miracles and recognize that, I won't forget what God did for me on that mountain. And in many other places, God has saved me. We got things going on in our church or actually on the radio program where you've been hearing these, near-death experiences, and we never want to forget where God saves our lives. And he saves it for a specific reason so you can fulfill his call. They did not earnestly remember the multitude of your mercies, God. It says, nor imprint your loving kindness on their hearts. But they were rebellious, and they provoked the Lord at the sea, even at the Red Sea. We don't want to provoke God. Listen, nevertheless, God saved them for his name's sake, to prove the righteousness of the divine character, that he might make his power known. He rebuked the Red Sea, and it dried up. He led them through the depths as through a pasture land, and he saved them from the hand of him that hated them, and he redeemed them from the hand of the Egyptian enemy. And the waters covered their adversaries. Not one of them was left. It says, what happens is, then Israel believed his words, trusting and relying on them. They sang his praise. That's what happened to us. It's like, I was so grateful. I was singing God's praise in my heart. Think about it, when God delivers us from anything, we're so grateful and thankful. But what happens? They believed, but verse 13, it says, they hastily forgot his works, and they did not earnestly wait for his plans to develop regarding them. So they forgot, and they didn't wait. God, help us to be patient and wait. But what did they do? Verse 14, they lusted. This is Psalms 106, by the way. But they lusted exceedingly in the wilderness and tempted and tried to restrain God. They restrained him to make him do certain things with their insistent desires in the desert. And listen, God, you can have what you want. It said God gave them the request, but he sent leanness into their souls and thinned their numbers by disease and death. And we don't want that. That's what happens. God will let you, if you're insistent and you persist, God will say, you can have what you want. You can have what you want. But that's not my best for you. But because of what happens, leanness comes into your soul. And you're not happy. You're not satisfied. It says, jump down to verse 19. Excuse me. They made a calf in Horeb and worshipped a molten image. Thus they exchanged him, who was their glory, for the image of an ox that eats grass. Think about that. Almighty God, and they exchange him. That's what it talks about in Romans. You worship the creature rather than the creator. That's what they began to do. They began to worship the creature. They traded their honor for the image of a calf. Think about that. That's just... I'm sure that grieves the Spirit of God. Let that not be us. They forgot God, their Savior, who had done such great things in Egypt, wonders and miracles in the land of Ham, dreadful and awesome things at the Red Sea. We need to lay to heart the things that God has done for us. We don't want to become idolaters. Like I said, you don't have to have a statue set up or something that you bow down before. But what does it say? It says, let us not grow weary, become discouraged in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap if we do not give in. The Spirit of God does not want us to give in. And running out of time, so I want to jump to the chapter. This is James. James talks about being patient. So, this is James. Let's see if I have time here. James chapter 5. This is the word of the Lord to us. So wait patiently, brothers and sisters, until the coming of the Lord. The farmer waits expectantly, it says, for the precious harvest from the land, being patient about it until it receives the early and late rains. You too, be patient, strengthen your hearts, keep them energized and firmly committed to God. This is James 5, starting verse 7. Keep them strong, keep them energized and firmly committed to God, because the coming of the Lord is near. It's near. Even though you might not see it, you have to be committed that you're gonna hold firm until you see God's fulfillment of his promise. Do not complain against one another, believers, so that you will not be judged for it. Look, the judge is standing right at the door. As an example, brothers and sisters, of suffering and patience, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord as his messengers and representatives. We call those blessed, happy, spiritually prosperous, favored by God, who were steadfast and endured difficult circumstances. This is patience. You have heard of the patient endurance of Job, and you have seen the Lord's outcome, how he richly blessed Job. The Lord is full of compassion and is merciful. Think about what Job went through. Think about, talk about the patience of Job. God, he went through all the things he went through, but what happened? When he got to the end of it, he got to the other side, he humbled himself, he saw the glory of God. So I want to encourage you today. Let the Spirit of God work in you, that patience, that endurance, that love of Jesus. What does it say in 1 Corinthians 13? Love is patient and kind. So thank you again for listening today. I encourage you, go out there. There's plenty of places where you can, find that love and compassion and mercy and reach out to those. And it's, what does it say? It says,